Hello everybody, what a lovely day it is here in the UK. I've just been for a lovely walk and the beautiful trees are all just changing colour. I bet it's not as nice as Canada in the fall though. And I'm just reminded, of course, we're near Halloween, aren't we? 30th of October, I did a video this time last year, in fact almost a year to the day. I look how old this year, I must admit. It has been a very difficult year for a lot of us, hasn't it, I think, so the wrinkles are showing a bit today. Anyway, yes, I've just been for a walk and I'm thinking, well, I did a video last year for All Hallows. I call it All Hallows. I don't like Halloween so much, that's kind of the negative side of it, or All Souls Day really, and I mentioned that I'd been to a Franciscan friary and a little ritual that we had, and I also mentioned about the little baby bones that I'd found in a garden in a very old Victorian house where I was living, and I did a burial ritual. So I think today really is about, well, it is about loss, isn't it? But it's not loss exactly, it's change, and it's the end of a cycle for a lot of us. I think this year's been so difficult, but also, you know, looking at nature, everything's beginning to pull back its energies. I've got a lovely book on trees, and they don't just lose their leaves, they work very hard all through the winter. Replacing minerals and this and the other. So it's time of sort of change really, more than a loss, I like to see it, because sort of everything changes into something else. And even the human body, you know, it's not just the death, is it? It's changing into a lighter form and everything else. It's a big subject. So I'm doing a little talk today on ritual, because I think I've covered the Halloween and the All Saints and the Souls and this and the other, but it's time of losing, a time of letting go, a time of change, and this year particularly has been so difficult for lots of people losing loved ones, and I think unable to get to funerals as well. That must be particularly devastating, I think. The last video I did on communion wasn't terribly well received and I was surprised, but I think perhaps I'm a bit I'm not unusual, I'm just me. So I think ritual is important and for many things, and ceremony, but I love ritual, and I think that's the thing that we need to get back to a little bit more, because we've lost our way a lot. We don't have religion to fall back on, we don't have rules and regulations, well, we don't want them, do we? But I think we're all, I'm not sure I say we, you know, we need something to focus on, and I found when I lost somebody that the best thing was to do a little ritual. You know, made it up myself, like the communion I was talking about last time. To make things up yourselves, there's no regular way of doing things, but it's a way of remembering, isn't it? And of course you've got the Remembering Sunday coming up as well, got Guy Fawkes Day. It's all about losing, isn't it, and transformation and loss, and the Scorpio sun coming in tomorrow as well, so that's about transformation and loss and losing. And it's being aware that something is always changing into something else. So a little ritual that I did, well, it's the energy starts to come out, it's a bit emotional. And of course at my age I've lost lots of people. And I couldn't get to my mother's funeral, and my father's was a disaster. So, and I lost a very dear loved one only a few years ago. So, my little ritual, I get a photograph, and I make a little space, space. It can be anywhere, a table, kitchen table, or somewhere you're going to kind of consecrate that atmosphere, just to remember the person that you loved, and they will draw near. I know they do, and others too that are interested in what you're doing. The whole family, in fact, you know, dogs, cats. This is true. So make it a little space that's going to be special, and turn the telly off, you know, put out the cigarette, whatever, and just devote your time for say 10 minutes or so. It doesn't have to be very long. Put some nice music on if you like. Have a lovely photograph of this person that you've lost. And light a candle, because I think candles are important in ritual. Candles will always bring in positive energy, so light a candle or two. And I'm not sure about calling it a communion, but it's what you like, you know. If the person likes a little drink or two, then have a little drink or two. Tune into their energy as well, so that they will draw near and share the time with you. And just remember them, remember the good times you had. You could say a little prayer, sing a little song, what, you know, kids like singing, don't they? something gentle and nice and simple, and something, you know, joyful in a way, if you can make it joyful. But remembering the good times, you know, you must have had good times because you loved them and they loved you, and just remember that they're still with you. They really are, you know. Some of you may be more aware of that than others. I'm just going to put my glasses on a minute. I've forgotten what I'm doing. Oh dear, I'm a vain creature. I don't like wearing glasses. I don't know why I don't. So I think not a very long video today, is it? I think it's because I haven't been very well myself. I'm a bit subdued today, as you can tell, and I've got a very difficult planetary transit, which is absolutely taking every ounce of mental energy I've got. And I wasn't going to do a video, but I thought, no, I do have to do this, because I say I'm not going to do them, then as the time gets near, I thought, no, I have to do it. So, and I do, in a way, enjoy doing them, but it would be nice to have someone to share it with. And I don't have anyone in my life to share it with, so I guess I'm sharing it with you, you know. So yeah, it is a time of, I don't want to use the word loss, because it is really, but it's remembering also that loss is changing into something else. Loss is not permanent. What did Jesus say? All that is real cannot be threatened. All that is unreal does not exist. And the only real thing in our lives is, you know, the positive, the light, the truth, the love, whatever. And I think for so many, many people, and I at times have lost that, you know, I forget that is a reality, and everything else is just shadows, really. Then we have to come through them. We have to come through those shadows in order to find the light, and in order to sort of understand things, really, you know, because it does take a lot of understanding, but the only thing that real is the truth and the understanding, and that people are living in other dimensions, beautiful, loving lives, you know. And I just want to say, and this is not really part of Halloween, but I get carried away. I just want to say, people often wonder where heaven is. Now, it is within. I mean, Joshua said that. The heaven is within, definitely. I've experienced that. It's not out there somewhere, although, of course, that is part of it, as above, below sort of thing, but within. And whatever you create your own heaven. You create, when you leave this plane, you go to somewhere that you've already created. So it's not a new, peculiar, horrible experience, because, I mean, I like gardens, you know, and I like stately homes and little cottages and all sorts of things. So when I leave, I'm looking forward to it, because whenever I see a beautiful tree, and there are some beautiful trees at this time of year, I think, what a beautiful tree. And I know that memory is gone in to my soul level, and when I die, when I leave this plane, that tree will be there for me, because everything, literally everything exists on a different level. So even the everyday stuff, it's on a higher plane, it still exists. Of course, the higher you go, the more pure, the more beautiful, the more light, and so forth. But so everything you love in this life, you will experience again in the next one. There's no change, except you haven't got a body. That's the thing that worries me a bit. I quite like my body. Sometimes it's useful, isn't it? So it's just remembering that those that you love are still with you. They're still there, very real, very much, and I know they are. And you may have thoughts about them, you may see them, you may feel the presence, like a cold wind or something, but just take time out. And I think we all need this, because so many people are leaving, and there is a reason for this, which it's a very complex one. So just take time out. I tend to not breathe. Take time out to remember those that have left, and even those perhaps you don't like, you know, that forgive. And that's very difficult. I find that difficult, believe me. But some things that have happened to, if you could just think of it as a learning time as well, the loss and the learning and all that is very part of your progress, very part of living here, and it does pass. This too shall pass, as somebody once said. So I guess on that note, I'm sorry, but I just feel, well, it's 9 minutes. I need to lie down in a brandy. Oh dear. Oh. So anyway, there we are. Do write if you've got any questions or anything. It's a big subject, but I thought I had to bring that in. That life and death are really just a cycle. and we're going through the death cycle. Really, the loss cycle, the leaving cycle, the changing cycle. Leaves are falling off the trees, plants are drying up, you know. It's not, of course, just an interesting time of life, is it? I look forward to seeing my garden. I've got some beautiful purple michaelmas daisies. They are a delight. And I'm just saying to them that they won't be there much longer. So what will replace them, I don't know. I should just have to imagine them there, because they are still there in my mind and my heart. Okay, dear ones, well, keep on keeping on, as we say, and just remember that nothing is lost, really, just changes. Okay, on that note, God bless for now. Take care. Bye-bye. Let's see what I'm doing.